Hello everyone, this is Charlotte and this is a podcast called Chatting in Cars. It's where I talk about random topics on a tangent whilst driving, and at the moment I'm driving home, so you might hear some people getting hit by cars or me swearing profusely, and I do swear, and there is a disclaimer at the start of this podcast, so I'm not going to apologise because I enjoy it. There's also a disclaimer because I do talk about some sensitive topics, some of which you might not be ready to hear about. All these things happen in everyday life. People just don't talk about them. And the reason that people don't talk about them is because they're uncomfortable and they're icky, and we don't want to know about that. And people avoid pain and trauma because, ew, and oh my God, that's so personal, which really means I don't really want to talk to you about this because it makes me feel uncomfortable and I don't want to admit that you might need help. So I'm going to talk about them anyway. And if anyone's got a problem with that, talk to me. I like hearing about other people having issues and finding ways to deal with it and sharing information and stuff like that. I love that kind of communal sense of dealing with trauma as opposed to the I'm going to hide it because it's not nice kind of trauma. You know? I don't think you should internalize that shit. I've done it for years, I've done it for decades, and it doesn't help. It just makes you explode in the end. So, feel free to leave comments if you need to, if you want to, if you feel like it would help you. Absolutely, I want to help you, so that's my gig as a light worker. So, the topic I've got on the way home, I've just had my nails, I've just run some errands, and I'm feeling absolutely pretty kitty right now. So I'm going to discuss ego, because I have a massive one. It's what she said. No, we're not going there, that's rude. Ego, it's a survival technique, right? Oh, it's part of you. If you want to go into it, if you want to go into the Freudian side of things, there's ego, superego, and id. Your ego is your puffed up part. Your superego is based on morals, and actually, I'm going to have to think about that because it's been a while since I've talked about it. So, ego is always the puffed up part, the part that thinks that you're so fucking fabulous. I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong because I always get these two mixed up. Your id is your moral compass, which is, you know, your common sense factor. It's what makes you do the right thing, essentially. Whereas your superego is whatever's presented from the outside. So social influences that tell you how to react and how to perform. Ego is the bit that says, fuck you all, I'm amazing. And some people have got this, and you need all three, and some people have got this particular part of them that is overdeveloped to the extent where it's now detrimental to their lifestyle or life choices. I mean, one of the most current versions, sorry, I'm just watching traffic at a merge point. One of the most current versions at the moment is, if you want to, and I do harp on about it, it's Putin at the moment. I mean, he's the most current fascist dictator we've got, isn't it? Besides, last time we had someone was, I don't know. I mean, there were a few actually over the last couple of decades, but none really stand out to mind as which appear on such a, broad scale right now. I mean, there's always been, fights in the Middle East and stuff like that. You've got a few dictators there. You've got the North Korean dictator and his son, which is currently currently taking up the role, is not very good. Not very impressive, to be honest, compared to his dad, who was a complete nutter. This one just seems to want to eat. It's like, I'm very aggressive. Sure you are. Yeah, somebody throw a Twinkie at him. Putin at the moment is giving me the shits. Even though he's on his last legs, and he is on his last legs, he's doing all the traits that show me that he is some kind of a narcissist, where he's using an overdeveloped ego and a sense of entitlement to manipulate a mass population into believing that his desires, which are completely unfounded and based on absolute bullshit, come first in order to, promote himself as some kind of amazing being, as a massive, impressive warlord or a uber masculine man, or I don't know what he's going for. To be honest, he's in his 70s and he needs to fucking retire. That's all I'm saying. He should have just spent the year fishing like he normally fucking does, but instead he decided to invade Ukraine. People are weird when they get older. I don't know what this bucket list came from. I'm assuming it's from the Cold War era. Clearly his ego is not being checked and no one is around to check him. And we do need people around us to check us when we're not acting, reasonably. I mean, you're on your last legs. He's got cancer, several kinds of cancer as far as I can tell. He's surrounded by people that keep trying to kill him themselves because, they can see what he's doing isn't right. He's just invaded a country who is more than willing to fight back. They're doing a fabulous job. I mean, what possessed you to think this was a good fucking idea? You're sick. Everyone's sick with COVID at the moment as well. The economy's getting fucked up. There's no money to host a war, let alone, It's like, where are you going with this? This is the worst, thought out plan I've ever fucking seen. I mean, even Hitler had a better idea, right? And there's a debate with him whether it was intentionalist or structuralist. It's like, did he actually want it, or was it, forced into it as a figurehead? I think this is nuts. In this day and age, to be doing something as stupid as that, it's got to be the act of a fucking narcissist. Narcissist. Close, isn't it? Nazi. Narcissist. It's pure, it's ego. It's someone saying, my ideas are the best. Not only are they the best, I will actively force you into complying with them, with threats of violence and authoritarianism. Fascist dictator traits, of course. I will miscommunicate any kind of information to my own people to make sure they're compliant in my acts. I will restrict the media to make sure that no foreign material gets in, so I can keep better control of my people. Not only that, I'll conscript my people into fighting a war that they don't want to in the first place, because they're just, fixing their economy at the time. They're still trying to get back from the Cold War era. It wasn't that long ago. And then he walks them right into fucking poverty again, and they're supposed to be okay with it. And it's, I don't know how strong your propaganda is, but that's not going to work, dude. So they're going to catch on, particularly with, mass global communication at this point. Shit's going to slip in through the gaps, even if you've done a complete blackout. So I think he's still living in the 80s. That's the weirdest thing. There was this huge generational shift in the 80s where everybody had that sort of Wall Street greed. And everybody became fucking entitled. And that's where I think it peaks. The 70s was all love and caring, and we still dealt with the Vietnam shit, but people became more aware of the negative side of just going with the flow, right? And letting someone just tell you what to do. Before that, the 50s was more like, we just survived a war, let's try and get things clean and neat again, right? We want that, Plutonian kind of lifestyle where everything just fucking works, the atomic family, right? We don't want any more weird shit. If everyone just sticks to the straight-laced shit, we'll be fine. No more wars, please. Then we had the softer hippie era in the 60s, 70s. Back into the 80s where everyone was like, fuck the softies, we want money. We want to do me. We got Wall Street greed, and that kicked off thoroughly hard, right? I don't know how many recessions happened along that time period, but everybody just suddenly became very me-centric, which I fucking hate, because it's not cohesive it's not conducive, should I say, to a society. It doesn't help people with their ability to work together. It isolates the individual. I mean, I do promote individualism because I do, value people as an individual, which is why I have trouble when people say things are racist. I'm sitting there going, well, you're just umbrellaing everything. Or, sexist. It's like, again, there's a very umbrella term. You just paint everyone with the same brush. When the current thing at the moment is everybody's fucking woke, apparently. I'm going, no, they're not. You're just painting everyone with the same brush because they have some similar traits. It's this generalization that fucks everyone over. And misrepresents people as well. To be honest, if you look at some of the parts of my life, apparently I'm liberal. And then you look at other parts of my life and I'm conservative, and I'm sitting there going, well, I'm not particularly anything. I just have individual ideas and traits that are my own, from my own background, my own walk of life, and this is what I believe. And it's come from somewhere, obviously, because we're social constructivists at heart. We make our reality from our surrounds. Everything is interpretivist. We all have our own narrative if you want to go into narrative inquiry. But at the same time, you can't just paint everyone with the same fucking brush and hope it sticks. So when Piers Morgan goes into everything's fucking woke and how shit it is, it's like, no, that particular individual is an asshole and they've done asshole things and fuck them. Don't paint them with the same brush that you give me. I have some woke traits. Doesn't mean I go around making money off it, right? Although I'm tempted at this point because teaching is a bit shitty. I'd love to make some money off something, right? Teacher's wages, woo! How much do you love your job? But you can't just do that. I mean, that's ego. That is someone's, even in itself, it's to be able to paint someone with the same brush, that's ego saying everyone's the fucking same. It's like, you don't know that. Show some humility. Not everyone's the same. not everyone can possibly be the same. You can't just assume that everyone who has this particular trait in one aspect of an entire cultural movement at this point is the same. That's like going to, you know, I don't know, Russia right now and saying that everyone's communist. Not everyone's communist. But you have a Russian accent. It's like, I don't give a fuck. No. It's arrogant to assume that everyone is that, to generalize like that. But then again, you look at these mass media people and they're just making money off these comments anyway, so you can't take them seriously. You can't. They know what's going to poke the bear and they love to do it, so they make the money that way. It's ridiculous. But then again, accept that we're willing to facilitate this by buying their shit and listening to their shit. So, you know, how silly are we for buying the shit? It's up to us, really. We are the consumers. Come on. If you don't like it, why are you buying it? Don't be silly. Come on. Aren't we all a bit older now? Don't we understand that this is shit? I mean, how many people sit there and bitch and moan about Meghan Markle right now, but you're still buying the shit? She loves that bitch. She doesn't give a fuck what you say about her as long as she gets paid. And that's most jobs, I find. I don't give a fuck what I do as long as I get paid, and this economy is failing, so let's do it. But that's ego. It's all ego. Drama. People love drama. People love drama because in their day-to-day bullshit, you know, this 9-to-5 bullshit. If you've got a 9-to-5, if you're lucky to have a 9-to-5, right? Lots of people losing their jobs and shit, right? Horrible, horrible shit. Ugh. Having been homeless, I know how fucked up that is. But if you are living in your 9-to-5, mundane, everyday grind, anything out of the ordinary, even if it makes you angry, if it makes you happy, if it makes you sad, anything out of the ordinary is, you know, something people latch onto. And it's something that the media loves to play into as well, because they're making money off it. After all, it's a business. They've got no sense of soul or heart or affection. They might fake it with puppy videos and shit, but then they're a business, dude. They're here to make money. You can't take their shit seriously. Absolutely not. And it's a job. It is a job. People got to get paid. People got to get fed. Don't listen to the shit they say. I love these people, the celebrities that, you know, think they can shape the media to their ends. It's like how arrogant do you have to be that you can just block out certain parts of media or sue certain newspapers or whatever it is just because they said something that wasn't nice about you? I mean, in that I do agree with Piers Morgan. I do. I'm sitting there going, freedom of speech, yes, I do agree with that. This is one of the American things. So a human right to be able to say what you think, you feel, you believe without persecution. It's a human right. We've figured this out in the Geneva Convention. You can't get pissy when someone states their opinion and then sue the shit out of them because it conflicts with your opinion. It's like, no. Otherwise, you've just negated the Geneva Convention. It's like, why do we have them if you're not going to use them? It's absurd. And most of the time, it's someone's feelings getting hurt. Now, I can understand loss of profits. I can understand, you know, loss of income. If someone spreads a rumor of you at work, right? Someone says that you've done something horrible at work and you lose your job because of it. Even though there's no evidence or anything like that, I can understand that. But when I get multi-million-dollar fucking celebrities turning around and say, I lost another $1 million because so-and-so said this and I didn't like it, I can't add an extra $1 million to my already multi-million-dollar. It's like, no, you do not have my sympathy at all. You've already got too much as it is. If you're just living by the skin of your teeth and you lose your job because some arsehole decides to arc up about something that wasn't even true in the first place, I would stand with those people more than I would feel sympathy for any kind of celebrity, just because it's just pure greed. It's like, so what if you lost another $1 million because someone said someone? Who fucking cares? Make up for it somewhere else. But it was mean and it hurt my feelings. I don't give a fuck. Your life is not dependent on this, is it? I mean, you might have those odd stalkers that follow these fuckers around that believe the crap and say, hey, maybe it's right. Maybe I should get rid of them. Or, you know, they've got other ideas, obviously. But you leave yourself open to that anyway. That is part of the job. You're a celebrity. Put yourself on a fucking pedestal and expect people not to take shots at you. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. If you don't want people to take shots at you, don't take that fucking job. We know it goes with the job. I know that when I walk into a classroom, I'm going to have kids that don't want to do what I want them to do. That's part of the job. I don't sit there, throw my hands in the air and quit. just because this one kid said no one time. I'm like, I don't sue the parents. I say, okay, let's try a different way. Let's get on with this. This kid still needs to learn. I still need to get paid. We're here in this room, here and now. Let's figure this fucking shit out. I don't have a tantrum and sue the parents. I don't have a tantrum and sue the school. That is pure ego. That is you being an arrogant fuck. You don't get the right to do that. No one does. No one in their normal workplace gets to say, I don't like this, I'm suing. Unless it is physically harmful to you, maybe. Definitely compensation if you've injured yourself. Ooh, look, a speeding camera. Hello, big. Looks like a Dalek. Weird speeding cameras. Our country's weird. Australia is weird. We have Dalek speeding cameras. Terminate. Is it Terminate or is it Destroy? I can't remember. I gotta look back. But no, it's pure arrogance to say that I'm right all the time, therefore you're wrong, and now I'm going to sue and take your money and you lose your job. That's pure ego. That's ego. That's over puffed up ego. You don't get a right to do that. You as an adult take on this fact that someone else has a different opinion to you. They might not like you. I mean, this is what we're raised with. We come to grips with the fact as adults that not everyone is going to like us. You harden the fuck up and you get on with it, right? And that's an Australian saying, that is harden the fuck up. My mum's favourite saying was harden the fuck up, princess. So I might be a princess, but I was never that kind of princess. It's like, come on. You get over it. You get on with it. You build up your resilience. And you harden the fuck up. You get on with your job. He's like, oh, someone fucked up part of my life. I mean, look at Keanu Reeves, right? Something happened with him where he had this big gap of him not working. And they wouldn't work with him. Something happened. I can't remember what. But he's the loveliest man, and I can't figure out why he wouldn't be getting work. It was something like pre-Matrix or something like that. He had turned down work for something, and I don't know, maybe they have a blacklist or something where people can't get work after that, or something like that, I don't know. And he went into this, I would call that his dark night of the soul, because I'm pretty sure that's the period he had when he was enlightened about, you know, life and shit, and that's how he has this mentality of what he has now. That's what I would say is his spot. And we all go through it in life at some point, maybe multiple times if you don't learn the fucking lesson. That's you dealing with your ego. That's you learning humility and gratitude. Some people will push that away until it completely fucks up their life, and then they end up in prison or drug addicted or something like that, because they just don't want to face that ego death, which is annoying. Because it's like, it was so much easier if you just took it head on. Show some humility. But anyway, Keanu Reeves is lovely. So he's going to be my go-to husband at some point, right? I hope he doesn't, you know, have a restraining order on me. Anyway, this will be very awkward when we're married. But he's lovely. He came out really well. He came out of that dark night of the soul very well, I'd say. And he keeps his ego in check. He knows his purpose in life. Clearly it's not there to make money. He wants to make films, and so he gets the gift and the opportunity to make it. And he's working on other projects as well. And he's doing it in a humble way. So he's not letting his fame or his money get to his head. And he's always working with charity, and he's always doing something here and there, trying to make good in the world. So this is what we should be aiming for, I'm thinking. No, that's not me just hitting on him. If he ever gets the chance to hear this. But that's what we should be doing. We should be looking for some way to create positive good in the world. And as soon as you get some assholes using like virtue signaling, it completely negates whatever they put into the action. What was Markle doing? Now this is the current narcissist, because everyone knows who Markle is right now. Not her sister, who is seeming to be turning against her as well. But this is interesting. Anyway, family dynamics. She was handing out bananas, and I remember thinking, that's weird. Okay, what was it for? I think it was for like, I want to say it was for food poverty, but I think it was something to do with condoms or something. I don't know. I've got to look into it. This is how much I pay attention to weird shit that happens in the media. I go, oh, that's weird. And then I keep going. But, you know, she was doing something with bananas. She was riding on the bananas, which is something parents do in our country. I don't know about your country, but as you leave them like a scratch on the banana, it leaves a line, so you make words, and kids at work have got them all the time. Parents are like cutting into bananas and apples and shit, and where it bruises, it leaves a message. I thought honestly it was for food poverty, because I'm sitting there thinking, oh, bananas, cool, we can use those. If it turns out to be sexual health, I'll be like, what the fuck? Irrelevant. What are you doing with bananas, Markle? It didn't make sense. That's not where it goes. But she made some big fucking deal about it, and I'm sitting there thinking it was a case of taking what was needing to be done, maybe food poverty, maybe sexual health education, I don't fucking know. It was a topic that needs to be discussed, something that needs to be healed and worked on, right? The information needs to be spread, the good needs to be done, people need to get healthier, better life. Okay, yes, fantastic. But then she made it a paparazzi thing, and she took this good deed and it went fucking everywhere because it was all about her. It's like, I'm doing this, what a wonderful person I am, I care about this is the only thing you should be fucking caring about, this is me, I am this, I am awesome. PR stunt, I hate PR stunts, I fucking hate PR stunts. I hate them because they're disingenuous. They take a good thing and they violate it. And it's all premeditated, pre-calculated, how will the crowd react, what if I do this, what if I touch my husband's bottom at the fucking awards, what will that elicit from the crowd and how will it be read by the people in the public? And it's like, can't you just, touch your husband's ass because you love him? I mean, I would be all over my husband's ass if my ex-husband was a complete piece of shit. But I was all over him, and I was all over my ex-boyfriend at the time because I loved him, not because I thought what other people were thinking, not because, I was calculating what the effect would be for my PR points with the public and the media and all this shit. I was doing it because I'm a hands-on person and I fucking love groping my partner. And I do. I'm hands-on and I fucking love groping my partner. I'm not holding back. And maybe I come across as clingy or overly sexualized. I don't know. But I have fun when I'm with someone. But it's not a PR stunt. It's doing it because it feels right and I like doing it, right? This is why we're with this person, because we love them. I don't like how pre-calculated everything like that is. That's all ego to me. That's saying I need to look good, so I need to create these circumstances even though they're falsified, even though any meaning in them is completely negated by anyone who's common sense and knows this was a staged event. Because it's like masses. It's the dim masses that go, oh, that was meant to be that, and they'll read it at surface level, but they won't actually analyze what went into that to make that event happen. It's like, so when you look at celebrities and they're trying to say this matters to me, everything about whatever they said it just feels like the boy who cried wolf. It's like, I know that this is an issue, I know that it needs to be addressed, but because it was you and everything that you talk about and everything you do is prefabricated lie, it completely negated the effect I have about this, the attachment I have about this issue. And now I can't trust you. Ooh, try from your bike. Sorry. I got a squirrel effect. It just negates everything that they've done because it's just, we know they're just doing it for updates. It doesn't mean anything. And then you get people that will jump on bandwagons, let me say, slightly less analytical people who are just happy that they're there. And maybe want to be them and they just want to live that lifestyle. So they'll jump on the bandwagon and support it, but it's a lie. It's an ego-based narcissistic lie. They don't give a fuck about these causes. They don't. What they do give a fuck about is getting attention and getting paid. Ultimately, they're toddlers. I'm going to scream until I get what I want, and if it's not a cookie, fuck you, I'll sue. It's not, it doesn't make sense. It's all ego-based. This is overdeveloped ego. Now, on the alternative, and I'm nearly home now, so I got to hurry the fuck up. Ego can be used as a constructive tool. It's not just saying I'm fucking fabulous. It is saying I'm fucking fabulous because I have proven I can do this. It is ego that's kept in check can be like armor. If you're willing to put the work in a meritocracy, and God willing we are in one, what you come out with will prove your worth. You've earned it. You've done the deed. You've done the work. You've earned the medals. You've done everything. This is me. I can do this. I can identify as this because I fucking earned it. Now, if you've got a bit of confidence and you've got a bit of swagger in you, and it's because you've earned it, not because you're faking it to make it, because you've actually fucking done the work, I will give my hats off to you because that is fucking amazing. But I will always take someone who's earned it over someone who's faked it. Now, one of the things that pisses me off with celebrities is apparently you can buy updates on Facebook and Instagram. You can just buy likes. It's like, wait a minute. That's not reinvesting in a fucking business. That's cheating. You can just buy bots that make likes on your thing. And of course, the more likes you have on your page or whatever it is, the higher up in the rating scale it is. And so more people will see it. That's cheating. That's not That's not popularity. You haven't earned that. There's no... People don't like you because they like you. They like you because you presented a fake image and then paid a bunch of people to promote your image more. That gives me the shits. It really does. Because genuine people out there that are working with nothing and coming through absolute fucking hell to get there, just to get the bare fucking basics, and not getting the recognition they fucking need and deserve, because these ego-driven assholes are, first of all, standing up on a stage saying they know shit when they don't, taking shit that they haven't earned, and fucking around over people just to get attention. Like, genuine people who have worked and need the attention to promote their life to get a better quality of life, they're taking attention away from them. I mean, how many NHS nurses go home, barely enough pay to feed their kids, yet we get some fucking celebrity walk through the fucking hospital and say, isn't it wonderful that I'm here caring for the medical people and all the patients because I'm amazing and I'm a celebrity and I have my stage. Nurses barely able to feed their kids who actually do the fucking work. That is ego unchecked. That gives me the shits. These are people who have earned their place. They've blood and sweat and grind. They've done it. They've lived it. It's real for them. Real, not just this bullshit dress up one day a week thing. It's life for them. That's what gives me the shits about celebrities. That's ego unchecked. Now, credit towards the nurses who do keep their ego in check, because if it was me, I'd jump the counter and punch the bitch. And as a teacher, that's probably not very nurturing, but oh my God, do I get angry about these fuckers. I do. It's not bitter, it's anger. I'm past bitter. I'm just angry now. It's like, you don't deserve to be here, you narcissistic, ego-stroking assholes. Get out. We're here to do a job. Why the fuck are you here? I'm here to promote awareness. I really just want to hurt you. You know, it's all ego. They don't give a fuck. They're getting paid. Who fucking cares? Anyway, now, ego can help you build resilience. Of course, yes, if you come through hell. But you can keep pumping yourself up. Be your own hype man, for example. Hype person, we should say, because we're inclusive now, right? I don't know what anyone identifies as. I don't recognize gender. I do recognize biological sex, though. I'm going to ask you if you're an innie or an outie. We're just going with that anymore. We're going to simplify it. People are getting way too complicated with this. If you look at gender, my other podcasts, you'll understand why I get confused and why I get pissy. Not relevant right now, but we need to be inclusive. If you are coming through hell and you've managed to pump yourself up as a hype person, then it should build up your resilience. Your ego is there to help you get through these horrible experiences, knowing that you can achieve it, knowing that you've been through worse, that this is not as bad as you might be making it. It seems catastrophic at the start, right? Anyone who's been through some horrible traumatic event, it feels like the world is ending. And I've been through a few myself. If you listen to the other ones, the other podcasts, you'll know what the fuck I've been through. Currently writing a book. I'm writing several books. I get bored. Anyway. But it's there to build resilience. You know you can do this. You can actually do this. You've done it before. You've done it 100 times. You know it sucks, but it has to be done. It keeps you going. It's resilient. It's stamina. It's not just, you know, pumping up yourself to say, aren't I fucking fabulous? And I'm going to believe my own bullshit. And we're all critical of our own selves as well. Maybe we're too critical at times. The self-doubt we all have, and we all fucking have it. Maybe some of us just lying about it better than others. It hinders our progress a lot during the day, but realistically, if we can just, you know, look at what we've achieved an objective stand. Most people have achieved a fucking lot in their life. They really have, but they don't give themselves credit for it because it's not done, you know, it's just not done. You don't get up your own arse. You don't talk about it. You don't say, I'm this kind of a person, I've lived through this and I want to help others and share my information. You just don't talk about it because it comes off as arrogant, doesn't it? Your ego will help you survive the most horrible experiences you can ever imagine. Please don't negate it on that level just because someone else says you're coming across as arrogant. This does not apply to celebrities. Fuck celebrities. At this point, I don't know, it sounds horrible because they're not all bad and I am using my ego to generalize there. How hypocritical. But at the same time, you know, they've been given too much of everything, too much excess. And when their life goes down to the toilet, or down the toilet, I should say, I say that's karma. I'm like, you were given a platform, you didn't use it properly. Up your bum, mate. I don't feel sorry for you when you go to shit. I really don't. That's overdeveloped ego. But the people who are at grassroots level, and I'm living amongst them now, and I'm seeing people struggle just to do the basic shit. Get a life, get a family, get your house together, get your job, keep off the fucking welfare, stay away from the drugs, not get robbed, not get sexually assaulted, all this kind of shit that these fuckers just take for granted because they've never been faced with that kind of shit. It's ego that will get you through that. That's why you got so many rappers that have come from fucked up areas that promote this image that, they're hard as fuck. This is their ego speaking, and it has a use. It has a use. I understand where they've come from. I understand, and I've seen it. I love watching documentaries about these people that come from the most fucked up fucking areas and get out of there and actually do something with their life. I love those people so fucking much. What I don't like is some cunt that lives in suburbia, has next to no problems with their life, and then comes across as a pumped up Justin Bieber clone. I fucking hate them. I do. I don't know if it's my age or the fact that I strongly believe in a meritocracy. But ego is meant to be there to help you get through hard times. It's not there to promote narcissism. It has a purpose. That's why the id and the super id exist as well, to keep the fucking ego in check. Okay? Your moral code is there to stop you being greedy. These fuckers get crazy about their fucking PR stunts and then wonder why they've got no sense of morality anymore. It's because you think you're God's gift to humanity. You're a piece of shit, Weinstein, aren't you? Epstein. I mean, how many people are just completely negating their moral code because their ego says, I'm fucking fabulous and I can get away with it. And they don't get away with it because Weinstein's just got a second rape charge and Epstein's dead. So, And the super ego, which they completely fucking ignored, if I got the different aspects right, which is the social stressors on them, which told them what they should and shouldn't be doing, they just ignored. Their ego overrided all the other things, both the id and the super ego, and they just went nuts with it. And now they're getting caught out because the super ego stepped in and said, right, you're going to prison. And the id went, I agree. Fuck it. But their ego said, wait, I'm right. And the other two went, shut up, fuckhead, you're wrong. Oh my God. And the same things happen with people like Andrew Tate right now. I swear, and I don't mean to sound horrible because I am one myself. I think he's an autistic person. I am autistic myself, and I understand. I'm looking at him going, I have similar traits to this, but used differently. When I got a belief in my head, I do stand with it, and I do, argue to the ground with it. And I'm doing it currently now because I'm, full of shit. But, but some of the things he was looking at and the way he was doing it, the practices he was using, the methods of dialogue and things like that. I'm looking at him and the way he's talking, and I'm sitting going, this guy is autistic. This is a case of someone taking their hyperfocus, mixing it with their ego, and going nuts with it, ignoring their super ego, ignoring their id, and just, and it's a mix of narcissism as well, because he's negated any sense of morality. And he's just going wild with it. But currently he's in a Romanian prison as well. So there's a case of autism gone bad, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm looking at the way he's doing things. And of course it is a spectrum, so everybody's different. I've got to take that into account. But I'm looking at him and the way he's talking and the way he's acting in the interviews and things like that. I'm going, there's something there, dude. And speaking as a teacher with experience of autistic kids over the last, 12 years, I'm going, there's something there that was left unchecked. We're going to start helping that one to, socialize him a bit more. And I'm not saying conform to things that you don't want to do. I'm just saying create healthy boundaries where he can't fuck with women. Okay? And maybe prison's the best way forward. I don't know. There's another case of ego being left out of check. Anyway, all right. I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm sorry. I know it was a bit of a weird discussion, and I do get a bit passionate about, asshole celebrities. I know. They give me the shits. I don't like the idea of people being praised for shit they didn't earn. That's what it is. That's what really gets up my ass. Especially when I'm surrounded by people that are struggling but still doing the right things to earn their way themselves. Don't get me started on Nepo babies, okay? That's another podcast in itself. I'm just, oh, dude, no. Just, ugh. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. It's still my second podcast on the same day. I hope you have a fantastic day, guys. Take it easy. Go and find some nice snacks. Currently binging through, weirdly enough, cookie dough made of gingerbread, or gingerbread cookie dough myself. Cocky dough. That's rude. Anyway, no. Have a fantastic Saturday, guys, and I'll see you later.